Hey guys, so today we're going to be testing out some Nyx Cosmetics. I love Nyx and I have had a lot of their products in the past and some of them have since been decluttered due to their age, so I repurchased some of those, but I also wanted to try some of their newer products. So I have sort of a mixture in front of me. Now I don't have every single category of products here because but I bought quite a few things. So I'm only going to be missing one, two, three, I think three categories. So I will have most things to show you. Okay, so I'm going to start with my lip treatment. It's not Nyx, so be right back. If you want to know any of the products that are not Nyx, you can just look in the description box because I always list everything I use. Okay, so we'll just let that sink into my lips so that when I get to the lipstick, my lips will be nice and hydrated. Okay, so the next step would be primer. And I bought the NYX Pore Filler Primer. This is not new, I don't think, but I've never tried it before. NYX has so many primers. I'm standing there at the store and I'm like, are you kidding me? There had to have been at least 10, maybe more. So I've tried some of them, but I have never tried this. And the foundation that I'm going to use is a dewy finish hydrating foundation. And so because it's going to be that type of foundation, I thought, well, I had better use a pore filling primer because otherwise my pores are going to show like crazy and I hate that. So let's try this primer and see. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Not expecting that. Usually pore filler primers are clear and it just smells a little bit like chemicals, and it's got some slip to it, so it feels like it's most likely got silicone in it. I already got rid of the packaging, so I can't look, but I can tell by the way it feels that this is most likely a silicone primer. I like to use my hands to do my primer because I feel like it really, that way I can feel exactly that I'm getting every spot, because you probably noticed sometimes when I do my makeup, when I'm using my brushes or a sponge or some other kind of applicator, sometimes you don't get every single spot. You think you are, but you're not. But when you use your fingers, you're going to get better coverage. Okay, next up, foundation. I'm excited about this. I've heard such good things about this foundation. This is the NYX Born to Glow Naturally Radiant Foundation. And it's only $10, which is a very good price for a foundation. And I bought the shade Light, so let's hope that this is going to be a match for me. I sometimes have trouble getting always make sure you shake your foundation before you use it. Very, very important. I sometimes have trouble getting the right shade because my skin is very cool toned and most foundations are actually warm tone, but we'll see. Okay, this looks like it might be all right. Now, why did I put it on my finger? I'm not going to use my finger to apply this. My hands are clean. I just washed them, so let's put that on the foundation brush like it should have been. Yeah, I always wash my hands right before I start my makeup. Okay, here we go. What do you think? You think that's going to match? I think it looks promising. It has a little bit of a peachy undertone, I would say. Pink is good for me. I can get away with peach too, which doesn't make sense because pink is cool, peach is warm, but for some reason I can get away with either one of those. Okay, it's got some coverage. I was concerned that this might not have that much coverage. Okay, so it's got some coverage, but it's supposed to be a radiant foundation. So we shall see. I'm going to stipple some of this on because I took quite a bit that second time, so I'll spread it around that way. And I'm trying to work fast because you never know how fast a foundation is going to dry down. So you don't want any splotchy, unblended areas. And I do like to take it across the eye area as well because I've got a lot of redness and discoloration. Now, if you have oily skin, I don't recommend that you do that because the foundation has got oils in it, and I have dry eyelids, so I can get away with that. But if I didn't have dry eyelids, don't put your foundation over your eye area or you will live to regret it. Okay, so let's see. Color match. Yeah. I mean, look down here and then look up there. I think that's good color match. That's half the battle right there. If you can get a foundation that matches you color-wise, then you're ahead of the game. Okay, I also got the concealer. So that's the Born to Glow Radiant Concealer. In this, I got the shade Light Ivory. And again, fingers crossed that this color will work for me. Oh, it's got a sponge tip applicator. Okay. So I'm just trying to squeeze some of this up. Okay, again, this has got like a peachy undertone, which I can usually get away with. I've got my damp makeup sponge right here. So we'll blend that in. Okay, that's got some coverage to it. I don't know why I wasn't. You don't really see a lot of concealers with sponge tip applicators, so I wasn't expecting that for some reason. Okay. Color-wise, that seems to be just about right. I like to go like one shade lighter for my concealer, and I wasn't sure when I picked this whether this was going to be that way, but it seems to have worked out pretty well. Okay, so we're going to set everything with a powder, and I bought the NYX HD Studio Photogenic Finishing Powder. And this doesn't have a color, so it must be, you know, just like a transparent. Just to look at it, it's a white, but it's most likely just transparent. And so I had already taken off like the seal that was on top of it. So just from moving the container around, this went into the cover, which is fine because that's where I'm going to be applying it. And I need to get a powder brush. Don't have one in front of me for some reason. Okay, I normally use my e.l.f. powder brush to apply powder, but when I opened the drawer that had my brushes in it, I saw this sitting there, and I have not used this in a million years. And I used to love this. So this is a Sonia Kashuk powder brush. And they still sell Sonia Kashuk brushes at Target. But yeah, let's use this. Gosh, I haven't used this in so long. Okay, so there's a lot of kick up with this powder. And I'm just gonna sort of stipple this on here. And that's why I wanted to use this brush, because you can't really stipple with the e.l.f. brush because it's flat top. So because this is round, I can really like roll the brush into the powder so that I can stipple it. And when you stipple the powder rather than brushing it on, you're gonna get, oh, I was afraid I might sneeze there breathing in that powder. You're gonna get a different kind of finish when you stipple it. A lighter coverage. With this type of powder, I've had powders like this in the past. I may have even had this exact powder in the past. I don't really remember. I try so many things. But I know from using these powders that you don't want to use a lot of this type of powder because it can get too cakey and it can be too much. So you just want to go easy with this or it can look very unnatural. Okay, so everything is set, and you know, some of you may be wondering why at my age I use powder to set things or finish things. I just don't feel like the makeup looks as good without it. I know that they say that when you get older, you shouldn't set your makeup with powder because it's going to accentuate fine lines and wrinkles, but I don't know, I just don't feel like the makeup looks as good without it. What can I say? Okay, so let's move on, and my hair clips are falling out. So the next product that I'm going to use is contour. And I used to have this contour by NYX a long time ago, and I remember really loving it. And so I repurchased it. It's their Wonder Stick. You get a contour on one side and you get a highlighter on the other. Not crazy about the highlighter shade that comes with it, so I probably won't even use that. Here, let me show you why. It's a matte yellow. Yeah, with my skin tone, no. But it's worth it to me to get it just for the contour. Okay, now I bought the one that said, it says light/medium, so there is no stick that's just light. It's labeled light medium. I believe they have light medium, medium deep, and universal. So I don't think they had the universal one. So all I had to choose from was light to medium and medium to deep. So obviously this is what I got. Now that looks like it's going to be too dark for me, but I think once it's blended in, it might be okay. So because this is so dark, I'm going to go a little bit light-handed compared to what I normally do with my AOA Studio Stick. That is a very, very light and cool contour. This is deeper and darker. So yeah, we're gonna go easy with this. Just gonna do a very light line. Okay, so see, once it's blended, it's fine. And I want to get just a little bit more back here. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh, I don't know, that might be too dark. So I must have had the universal one before, which I think is a lighter color. Oh, that's just about right. Because you don't want your contour to be too severe, but you want to be able to somewhat see it. So, okay. And like I said, we're going to skip over that highlight. I'm not going to do a matte yellow. Okay, so the highlight I am going to use is not NYX. So, going to do my highlight, be right back. Okay, so you were probably thinking, highlighter, what about blush? Yeah, I don't have a NYX blush right now, so I did a different brand of blush and highlighter, so we're gonna move on. Okay, I repurchased this. I've had so many of these that I have lost count over the years. It is the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Milk, which essentially this is just a white cream eyeshadow. Now I could have used that as my face highlight, but it's matte and I prefer a shimmery highlight. Don't forget, if you want to know what anything is, look in the description box. Whoa! Oh! I dropped it. It went all over my clothes. Okay, well, we'll address that later. Okay, so what did I buy this for? I bought this to use as an eyeshadow base. And when I put it on, I'm going to put it on all over my eyes. And then I'm just going to leave the brow bone highlight area and inner corner area. I'll show you. It'd be easier than explaining. Okay, so the way I like to use this is I like to take my index finger and then warm up the product like that and apply it with my fingers because this has a very thick consistency and it's much easier to distribute it, blend it with my finger because I'm using the warmth to help blend it. Because yeah, this is a very thick product, so it doesn't work as well with a brush. Now the reason why I wanted to use this today is because I don't have any NYX powder eyeshadows anymore. They've gotten decluttered because of their age. And so the eyeshadows that I decided to use are all very light colors, and a white base is going to help them pop. Okay, let's do just a little bit in the inner corner as well. Okay, so I'm going to do my eyeshadows and come right back. Alright, so eyeshadows are on, and next is eyeliner. And I'm going to use the NYX Retractable eyeliner in the shade Aqua Green. And I think this might be on its way out in terms of availability. I just bought this, but I was researching this product and I was noticing that it had disappeared from a lot of stores, so I don't know how much longer they're going to be carrying this particular eyeliner because they have a new line of eyeliners out, so those might be replacing these. So I'm just going to go right on the lash line. I think the hardest thing when you're doing eyeliner on the lower lash line is trying to not make your eyes water because once that water hits it, it's not going to apply very well. But you don't really have a lot of control with that. You don't have a lot of control over that, I should say. All right, so next I'm going to curl my lashes. and I'm going to use my lash primer. Even though I'm testing out a brand new mascara. Well, it's new to me. Because I would never do my mascara now without a lash primer. I feel like it makes a huge difference. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to curl my lashes, do the lash primer, and be right back. Okay, lashes are curled. Lash primer is on. If you're new here, you may be wondering, why didn't she put eyeliner on the top? Personal preference. I don't know. I like eyeliner on the bottom and not on the top. I know most people do it the other way around, but that's just me. Okay, so here we go. NYX On the Rise Volume LIftscara. This isn't brand new, but it is fairly new. So that's what it looks like. And I look at, you can kind of tell with mascaras if you look at the way the product is deposited on the brush. So I'm not too impressed with what I'm seeing. It looks really clumpy and unevenly distributed. So I'm gonna, sometimes with a new mascara, it takes a while for it to deposit correctly. Okay, I put it back in and twisted it and brought it back out. That's better. Yeah, sometimes new mascaras, I don't know, it's almost like you gotta break them in. All right, let's start with the lower lashes, because the reason why I do lower lashes first is so that I don't get transfer when I do the top. Okay, it's not depositing a lot of product, but it's not clumping either, which is good. All right, let's go one more time in here, just to try to make sure I get enough product on there. All right, here we go. Interesting brush there. It's kind of like that hourglass thing. Okay, so trying to get right down to the roots of my lashes and wiggle and twirl. Okay, this is building beautifully and it's not clumping. So see, appearances can be deceiving. I didn't think this would work, but that's actually quite nice. And if I do any more, it's going to turn into a spider effect. So we don't want to do that. So as soon as you see that it's starting to clump, stop. Don't do any more. Okay, I'm gonna have to dip back in because the product pretty much came all off the brush when I did the other lash. That wiggle motion thing, it really does work. And I learned that many years ago from Pixie Woo, which are the ladies responsible for Real Techniques brushes. They don't seem to really make videos much anymore. You know, you might see like one random one every 3 or 4 months, but I guess they just focus on their brush company now. I don't even have to look up and you can see these lashes, but let me show you what they look like when I look up. So, wow, this is a good mascara. I'm so surprised because honestly, I haven't had a lot of luck with NYX mascaras in the past, but yay, they got it right. That is a good one. Okay, so next would be brows, and I repurchased this because I remember really liking it when I had it. It's the NYX Microw Brow Pencil in the shade Taupe. And I do really like this, but it's very time consuming because it's a micro brow pencil. It takes a long, long time. So I'm not going to make you sit through me doing my brows because it's going to take a while. So let me come back when they're done. Yeah, it's going to be a while. Yeah, the thing I like about Microw brow pencils is you're going to get the most natural looking brow. I mean, you can fill it in, but it's still going to look like your brows. You won't ever end up with block brow, or you won't end up with, if you touch it, it's not going to feel like that awful feeling when you use brow gel. So they just look filled in natural, what you want them to be. Okay, so what does that leave us with then? Lips. I have NYX lipsticks, but I had something else in mind for a lipstick to go with this eye look, so I'm going to use that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that is the finished look, and I'm on a roll, you guys. For me, none of those things were a fail. I feel like they all worked out fine. And I don't know what to say because I did that CoverGirl video where I was trying everything on, and it worked out, and it worked out for the NYX too. Now, I do have the NYX Dewy Finish Spray, but I am not going to spray a Dewy Finish Spray on a dewy foundation because I'd just be asking for trouble. So no, we're just gonna leave that alone. I don't use setting sprays or finishing sprays or anything like that on the daily. I only use them when I feel like my makeup needs it because I don't like matte setting sprays. Yuck. I would just rather use my powders. But for this type of finish, I only use it when my makeup just looks really powdery and it just needs to be blended together or set with a dewy finish spray. So no, we're not going to use that today. So that is it, you guys. If you have any questions, let me know. And if not, don't forget to give this a thumbs up if you liked it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye. Thank you for watching.